Yo, a fair number of fighting games managed to surface in the year 2017, many of them really fun to pick up and play, along with to learn as well. Despite this, there are 5 specific fighting games that I found was probably my preferred throughout 2017, so I've decided to place together a short list to highlight them all, so make sure you definitely keep it locked.
Number 5.
Nintendo's first foray into the fighting game genre in some time, and the first ever fighting game they developed for their new console, the Nintendo Switch, was certainly a quick hit amongst the fans. The game took the easy to pick up and play approach that Wii Sports Boxing managed back in 2006, and instead of being a fun little mini game to play with your friends, they managed to flesh it out to be a completely new fighting game experience that we haven't really seen before. ARMS had you pick from an incredibly colourful, vibrant roster of characters, all with their unique set of arms that played out differently from one another and had you dodging and swinging at your opponent with the Joy-Con controllers. While ARMS was a rather casual approach to the genre, pro fighting game players and fans of Nintendo alike came together to praise ARMS for being a unique twist on the fighting game genre that everyone seemed to enjoy.
Number 4.
Capcom had known for a while now that their hardcore fan base of fighting game fans wanted a new, updated version of Street Fighter 2, and with the release of the Nintendo Switch, it turned out to be the perfect excuse to bring the game to fruition. Ultra Street Fighter 2 took everything that people loved about Street Fighter 2 and threw them into this great new remastered game, added the option to switch between a new HD visual style and the classic one, an online mode that the original Street Fighter 2 never got, and a couple of new characters to change up the roster. Anyone with a Nintendo Switch and is a fan of this fighting game should certainly pick this game up for their library, as it sure isn't meant to be missed.
Number 3.
For a while, people were starting to get a little bit worried about Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, as the game just kept getting held back and the roster of characters wasn't quite as fleshed out as some of the previous games. But that didn't hold back the game in the slightest. The roster of characters ended up being as fun to play as the previous installments, and the approachable nature for the game meant anyone could enjoy the game regardless of their skill level when it came to the fighting games. For fans of the series, you got another great Marvel vs. Capcom game to sink your teeth into without being completely overwhelmed with how much there is to learn from the onset.
Number 2.
People have been pining for a new Tekken game for quite some time now, and it makes sense considering that the world hasn't really seen a great 3D fighting game in some time. But it appears Tekken 7 cleared that particular void, and with no problems whatsoever, certainly was really well received by some of the fans out there. I'm not gonna lie, on first impressions, I wasn't really a fan of Tekken 7 at the start. I was probably a little bit more disappointed, simply because I felt if you was a noob to the series, it was pretty difficult to grasp the concept. But after giving the game a little bit more time and attention, I started to find much more fun and amazement with Tekken 7. With a large roster of characters to choose from, there's always someone new to discover and practice with if your previous main character started to get a little bit stale. Not to mention just how strong the online play was, just made the overall experience a great one.
Number 1.
Yo, easily one of the most anticipated fighting games of 2017, Injustice 2 was the continuation of the previous Injustice game, a franchise of the fighting game that takes about 30 different DC superheroes and villains and throw them into a singular game for the fans to go crazy about. Just like the previous Injustice, the story was still just as strong, a complete rarity with this genre, and the selection of characters was top notch. It was nearly impossible to find a character you didn't like or couldn't couldn't enjoy playing as. There was just so much variety in the game that surpassed not only the original Injustice, but so many other fighting games that was released in 2017, hence the reason why Injustice 2 certainly topped my list for the best fighting game of the year. Anyway peeps, thanks for taking the time out for sitting through this quick rundown of 5 games in terms of fighting game genre that I found to be the best in 2017. What fighting games did you enjoy and would you make on my list? If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so before. And until next urban gameplay video, we definitely say peace out, peeps.
Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for more cool urban gameplay videos.